Time is 6 p.m., February 20, 2024.
Yes. I,
Audience, can you hear? Would you want me to take one, Renee, and pass it down? Oh, well, take one and pass it down. Audience, can you hear? Trustee Sapp, say something else.
good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, tomorrow, if you feeling better, call me tomorrow.
Here.
Here.
Okay, go right into
Trustee
public
Martin.
comment. Go right into public comment. All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on the matter of the special board meeting agenda only. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate, time, replies, or rebuttal. I will respond to the questions once all comments have been made. When you come up, please state your name.
Test.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the board, and thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to make a quick comment.
Your name, we need your name.
I'm sorry, Reverend Mitchell L. Ikenna Johnson. I'm on staff at the Hillcrest Baptist Church and,
Mitchell.
pardon me?
No, she can hear what you said.
Reverend Johnson. Reverend Mitchell L. Ikenna, I-K-E-N-N-A, last name Johnson, J-O-H-N-S-O-N. Do my 3 minutes begin now?
Yes, they
Say again?
should be said.
Yes, ma'am. And I wanted to talk, if I could, briefly about the opportunity for restorative justice. And I thought about the Pledge of Allegiance you just gave to this country. I wonder if all of you know that the Pledge of Allegiance has regularly been amended. It was amended earlier for gender. And then it was amended one more time for communism. And that's why we have the words under God, such that those who pledge allegiance might fear God first. And then in that fear, identify the obligation for justice. I'm not sure of the theology of all of you on this board, including you, Mr. Mayor. What I am sure about is no matter what theology you profess, justice is at the core of that theology. No matter what theology you profess, love is at the core of justice. And if, in fact, you, in the exercise of your obligation to serve the members of Sauk Village, the residents, the businesses, and the community around you, if you have not love, you have nothing. So it is interesting to watch a group of people who are elected to serve somehow not find a way to serve in a cohesive manner, and let justice, love, the deity of your theology lead and guide your principles. And if you're not doing that, then the real question is, what are we doing? Are we entertaining or are we serving? Restorative justice is the only way for communities like ours to get a second opportunity when every other community regularly has them. I know my time is running short, so I'll say this.
I'll let you know.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. In my past life, I served as a deputy law librarian for the county of Cook. In that service, I was what's called the chief of branch services. I had offices in every courthouse. The offices in Skokie, the offices in Rolling Meadows, the offices in predominantly white communities never had problems. They all somehow managed to work together, not just for the elderly, not just for the middle class, not just for the lower class, but for the young people. They were always on the same page. The question is, we need programs like restorative justice to be together in our own communities. And why can we not do it? It matters not who gets the glory other than your deity. It matters not whose name is on the science of the page other than whoever you serve. At the end of the day, all of you came into this world naked, and naked you will leave. But the question will be, what are you doing for the least of these? Are you practicing justice? Are you practicing love? Let restorative justice be an example of the love that you practice. Thank you.
David Fields.
If I'm wrong, I apologize. But
I was here a couple of months, I was here about a month ago at a meeting. Excuse me?
Let me reset the clock again, because after you said your name, you didn't say anything. So you lost some time.
Okay, okay. The last,
Let me start the clock, sir.
If you speak in the mic, it's not good. Yeah, I can't hear you either.
okay,
Mr. Fields, again.
okay. The last meeting I had the privilege of attending, I know there was a conversation that took place pertaining to budget cuts. Two of the things that I heard that was disturbing to me was one about cuts to the fire department and cuts to the police department. Now, with all of us sitting here in this room, when those cuts were proposed, I'm wondering, did you ask yourself, if this is allowed, if my house catch on fire, do I get the people who's responsible for putting these cuts in and voting on these cuts and allow them to pass, do I get them to come to my house to put out a fire? Or if I have a problem at my home with someone and I need the police to come there, do I get them to come there instead of the police? Because I thought the purpose for us having a fire department and the police department was to come and take care of business that we don't take care of. But if you allow these cuts to come in, and I'm talking to the people here that's sitting out here, if this is allowed for these cuts to come in, we're gonna have a problem. Somebody said they were worried about the criminal elements that may come into the village. Newsflash, it's already here. It's already here. And the way what's happening right now is trying to be curtailed. And I heard that that's being stopped. So, to us here in this village, if we don't start standing up and taking a stand for things that we know that's right, we're gonna have a bigger problem than we got right now. Now, on this budget cut thing, Mr. Mayor, my question is, was this a majority amongst the trustees on this cut? And if it wasn't a majority, it lets you know something is wrong. Somebody up there sees something that's wrong. So come on, people of Sauk Village. Everybody say they love Sauk Village and they fuss Sauk Village and they want to see Sauk Village grow and everything. Well, you know what? My eyes must be blind because I don't see it at all. All I see is that Sauk Village trying to be stuck in the 16th century. Because they do not want this village to progress. Instead, it keeps going down. I'm watching families move out of Sauk Village every day because there's nothing here. And you sit up here and you talk about you love this village. Your mouth say one thing, but your expressions is on something. It's totally different. And remember, how you got in was through a back door. But we got a front door to get you out of. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have a public.
Oh, okay.
Ready? Usually you tell me when you're ready. Mr. Mayor, my comments will be directed to the proposed budget for the 23-24 year.
Call the question.
I'm sorry?
Let's start. Oh, we're not doing the well tonight. State your name first and then you vote. Okay, we'll start over again.
My name is Francine Anderson, and I am at 216th Street. let's talk about your proposed 23-24 budget. One of my questions will be directed to, I looked, and for some reason, Mr. Mayor, I didn't find exactly under administration the events. I found one event because I am definitely sure and would like to make sure that we do not have money put in the special events for 2 festivals. I found it imperable, and I think it was a misuse of our funds on last year in order to have 2 festivals that wind up costing us over $60,000. And since you say that we need some budget cuts, and you want to, this board wants to cut personnel, maybe we can cut some of those funds that were spent on activities that I am sure some residents enjoyed, but I think 1 festival is more than enough for the village. I didn't find exactly where that expenditure was. I looked for it. My other questions come from, I have it highlighted here. I can tell you what page I am on. The cable television, I'm on page 2. And page 2, under cable television franchise fees, I see that we only use 66,000 and you are proposing the 70, which was good because the previous was 95,000. So I think that was a good move and a good number to look at and forward. The availability of the water fund is on page, hold on. Let's go back to the big page then, because I had it. I should have folded my pages. I am definitely glad to see the employee and the employment amounts continue to stay at such a close increase, in which it is look like comparable to other communities that have the same amount of residents. Seeing that we have lost some residents, I am so sorry. Where is the water? My other question came from water. One other thing I wanted to note it and highlight it was that I am sure that and glad that the finance person made sure that you noted that your funds for actuals were unaudited. And since we are still having questions about the audits and who is doing what and how much money is being paid for the trustee's internal auditor, we would like to have some answers to that and see how that would be reflected in the new upcoming budget. This is a budget hearing. I could be asked for an extension, Mr. Mayor, if there's need so. You all can vote on it. It's fine with me, but you don't have to give it to me. I have no problems with that.
Go ahead, Francine. This is a review of budget.
This is a budget.
I know it's.
This is not a regular meeting.
I know this is under public comment, but this is a review.
We are not going to be unfair to the rest of the residents. Now, we have had residents up here many times that has gone past the 3 hours and they were stopped at the 3-minute mark. And we're not going to take this time to disrespect other residents and give favor to others. Now, Ms. Francine's time is up. Now, we've had many residents up here that had to speak, and at the 3rd minute, they were cut off and were not able to continue. We're not going to start favoritism. Now, 3 minutes is over, and that is it.
Trustee.
That is 3 minutes is over, and that is it.
Trustee.
3 minutes is over, and that is it.
Are you going to listen?
No,
You're not going to listen?
I am listening very clearly.
You let me talk.
Mr. Mayor, I am listening very clearly, and I, as a trustee, is not going to allow this shenanigans. Now, any other time, the clerk stops the timekeeper at 3 minutes. Now, she's had 3 minutes, like everyone in here, and everyone in here had to stop at 3 minutes. We've had 2 people up here already, and at 3 minutes, they had to stop. What gives her the privilege to go beyond I am listening very well,
Well, you
but I
gotta
hope
listen to
I am listening there,
Because
but
you're not-
I am not going to accept favoritism.
Okay.
Now, these two
Are
gentlemen
you
stopped,
through? Are
and
you
they were stopped by the
Are
clerk.
you through talking?
They were stopped. I'm only done if the young lady can have a seat,
No,
like the two young men had a seat.
Recess.
Period. They were stopped, and
Mr.
she
Mayor.
has to be stopped as well.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
This is.
I don't know if the other.
At your
Mr.
3 minutes
Mayor,
is up, ma'am.
excuse
You
me.
cannot be acknowledged.
Other trustees.
Because the other trustee, the other gentlemen
trustees.
were not allowed
I
to
don't know if the
continue.
other citizens
The other
knew if
gentlemen
they
were
could ask
not
for an
allowed to
extension of time.
continue. The
So
other
they
gentlemen
were not
were not
informed
allowed to
by
continue. The other
clerk
gentlemen
or
were
any
not
other
allowed to
trustee, then they would know.
continue. The other gentlemen were not allowed to continue.
Trustee,
The other gentlemen were not allowed to continue.
Trustee, are you
Yes,
gonna
sir.
listen?
I'm listening.
I'm asking for a 5-minute recess right now.
Thank you.
you. Five, because that was
Those gentlemen were
a
not able to
5-minute
complete.
recess.
Thank you.
I just know I had a pay.
And you're the only one that keeps the time. So please, we have a recess.
Well, I just wanted to do some public comment. My public comment is on the public hearing because that's what it's going on.
No, they should have pub.
The public comment is strictly up to 3 minutes. And not 3 minutes, that's what we're going to follow the rules that are written. There are rules that we're going to follow. 3 minutes and that's it.
Sir.
Okay, but I was trying to make a statement and say, this was public comment. The next item was going to be the presentation of the budget and appropriations. And that was going to be the time that we would answer or try to answer some of the questions from the audience. But at public comment is 3 minutes. So, Ms. Anderson, could you save your questions about the budget when we get to the part, which is the next item, presentation of the proposed budget? And because I know that you like to, and which is a good thing, ask certain questions about certain items on the budget. So that's why we have these two people sitting up front here that will try to answer some of those questions. And you're speaking about the budget that's going to be proposed tonight. So right now, we're still under public comment, and I'm going to move forward and stop public comment unless there's someone else has another public comment in regards to tonight's meeting. If not, then we'll go right in. If they do, please raise your hand and come up to the mic. If you do, if you don't.
Mr. Mayor, so you're saying we're having public comment and then we're having the hearing?
Yes.
For additional time?
The hearing will be for the regular, the proposed budget that was presented. And at that time, if people have questions about that, as we always do, they can ask those questions at that time.
So they'll have unlimited time during the budget?
Well, they've always had unlimited time.
And are they going to have an additional time to speak intergovernmental agreement as well? Or just?
No, it's just the budget.
Okay, I'm just trying to get
Just
clear.
the budget, yes.
So there's no discrimination?
No, the agreement for the intergovernmental restorative justice, we just voted on that, yes or no. That's going to be voted up and down. But you do have to have a presentation or review of the budget. We have to do it because we've had it for 10 days. So yes, after 10 days, we do have our hearing.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I'm also looking at the notice special meeting, budget hearing and board meeting. It also states in the public comments and in the comments from the audience that there is each speaker is allowed one opportunity again to speak for up to 3 minutes. So the 3-minute rule is expressed and stated throughout the document. And so if Mr. Mayor desires that our residents and guests have longer than 3 minutes, I suggest that Mr. Mayor after this night, make that adjustment, and we can put that new rule in our literature. But as of right now, it states everywhere that you read, there's a 3-minute limit.
Under public comment.
I want to make sure, under public comments,
Yes.
Period, no matter what.
No.
When the public, under the rules,
No.
when the public is speaking, it states, when the public is speaking in every one of our documents, it states 3 minutes. Now, if the mayor, Mr. Mayor desires to change that, I will welcome it, but not tonight. Tonight, it says 3 minutes on every single document. And I want to be fair to every resident that we abide by the rules that has been set in place. I am not being unreasonable, and I have already seen something that has not been fair across the board. So let's stick with the rules that has been set forth on this evening for 3 minutes. 3 minutes is more than enough time for us to say what it is we have to say. Now, next week, if the mayor changes to 4 minutes, then we can proceed that way as well. Thank you so much. I am going by the rules set by our mayor.
Trustee Burns, thank you very much for your explanation. However, I thought you were here at the last board hearing that we had. And I guess you weren't. Because at the board hearing, the audience asked questions about different aspects, and it just takes longer than 3 minutes. And they asked questions about different aspects on the budget. That has nothing to do with public comment. This is a review, and the review is the audience goes over some of the questions that they have in regards to the budget. As I stated before, public comment was public comment, had nothing to do with the board review, and that's what I was trying to make that statement, that I should have stopped Ms. Anderson at that time, because it's not public comment. She was actually stating some of the discrepancies of what she saw in the budget, and I hadn't gotten to that point yet. So I should have said, okay, wait a minute, this is just public comment. When we get to the item number 4, the presentation of the budget and the appropriation would have been the time for her to ask those questions that she's asking. Right now, we're still on the public comment. That's why I asked her to relinquish the mic. And does anyone else have any more comments on tonight's agenda only, which is dealing with the restorative justice and the budget? If they have any comments on that, that's one thing that would take us 3 minutes. But when we get into the next, because like I stated before in the budget hearing, the audience some people in the audience do dissect the budget and ask certain questions, and that's been going on ever since I've been sitting at the budget meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So we will definitely now go finish the public questions, I guess.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, excuse me. I want to make sure, I am looking at the notice of special meeting, budget and hearing and board meeting. I am looking at the instructions under this special
That's public comment.
At the same time, public comments are the public. Everyone sitting out there is the public. Mr. Mayor, I'm saying with clarity of understanding, if there are special rules,
There's not special
if there are special allotments, if there are special rules that need to accompany the hearing budget process, then those rules need to be defined and written. If those rules are not written, I have no other obligation except to go from the written rules. I am not saying anything.
Were you here at last year's budget hearing? Were you here at last year's budget hearing?
Mr. Mayor.
Were you here at last year's budget hearing?
So my question to you, Mr. Mayor.
Were you here? Yes or no?
I was here in December, so.
No, were you here at last year's budget meeting? Were you here?
When I first came, there was at the beginning of the budget process.
Then you heard how the budget went.
And the budget was resolved to.
But no, it wasn't. No, it was not. No, it was not. No, it wasn't.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Clerk.
You all are taking so much time.
No, see, now the Madam Clerk is trying to limit a discussion. We are having discussion, and if you couldn't stop the time clock, we don't need you to discuss now. We're not speaking with you. Point of order, Madam Clerk, because we were not speaking. Point of order, Madam Clerk. We were not speaking with you, Madam Clerk. You didn't do your job to stop the time now. I'm speaking to the mayor.
Trustee.
Yes, sir.
With Drew, I'm gonna take public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's it. I'm through with that.
If anyone go past
Trustee,
I will
I am
Yes, sir.
taking public comment.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Mayor.
running the meeting. I appreciate your help, but I'm running the meeting.
Okay, but
Trustee, I'm running the meeting. I
Run it
appreciate
correctly
your help.
now. Follow the rules. Follow the rules, Mr. Mayor. I got you the rules. Follow the rules that you put forth.
Trustee, are you going to continue to talk?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, but then let me finish the meeting.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, you have a comment.
Jeffrey Burns, resident, 25 years. I have a couple of questions. One, when a department, individual, or staff members are given increases without coming for the board, what usually happens when that occurs? When individuals are given increases without coming before the board, what is usually going to happen? So if the monies that was given to individuals that did not come before the board, and when a budget is due, that money is taken away, is that called a budget cut, or is that called you just simply didn't give the increase? That's one. Two, with the restorative justice system, in terms of giving up our community center, how many days is court held in the rotunda room? Because we already have a room set up for court, how come they can't use the rotunda room? That's another question. Also, if we have an empty building, Title Max, how come they can't lease that building to have the restorative justice program? And the last thing I would like to know is why the restorative program didn't go to Linwood. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else for public comment? None? Okay. Most of the people that got up did talk about, that made their comments. So there's nothing for me to say on those things other than we're not voting, or it's not becoming before the board. The budget that's coming before the board was the budget that was presented by our finance staff that was put out there for 10 days. That everyone seems to have had
Trustee Sapp, is that you?
that seems to have had, everyone had a chance to look at it. That's the one that's going to be voted on today, not this other one that you're referring to as far as cuts and everything. That's not the one that's going to be presented to be voted on tonight. The one that's going to be presented to be voted on tonight was the one that was available at Village Hall for those 2 weeks. That being said, the restorative justice section is going to be something that's either going to be voted up or down. There was a lot of talk. We've had 2 town hall meetings in regards to that. We had to come out, so it's going to be presented tonight for a vote. That, and then also the budget that was made available for the people to see for the last 2 weeks. I will answer one question, so it won't get, because sometimes people say if you don't answer something, what they say is correct. Title Max is not owned by the village. Title Max is from...
Yes, ma'am.
Someone quiet.
getting feedback from your phone, trustee?
I don't know why.
They don't either, but, we're trying again, okay?
Okay, I'm in a room so we can be accepting it.
You know, we're in an open meeting, trustee, so we can't have this discussion at this time.
Okay, and so Town of Max is not owned by the village, nor is it controlled by the village. That's a separate entity in its own. Restorative Justice came to the village. They didn't go to Town of Max or any other entity in the village. They came to the village itself for us to get involved into it. And so I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that we don't have control over the Town of Max property that's right there on Torrance Avenue and Sauk Trail. Okay, that being said, I'm going to move on to the next presentation, and that will be the presentation of the proposed budget and the appropriations for year 2023-2024. Everyone had the chance to review it for 2 weeks. So if there's any questions, and I think we left off with Ms. Anderson. If there's any questions, please come up to the mic and we'll see if we can try to answer some of those questions that you may have in regards to the budget, the one that was presented. So Ms. Anderson, if you're ready, you can come back up.
Is there anyone else maybe I should wait?
No, I think that's, I closed public comment.
Thank you. She needs to present the budget first. Needs to present the budget.
Okay, Ms. Lewis, you gave everyone a budget, and you also presented a budget to the trustees, and it was also a budget that was made available at the front office for 2 weeks. Is there anything more that you need to say on that budget? I mean, it was, like I said, it was available for 2 weeks, and that's why I was asking if anyone had any questions on that particular budget that's in the audience. Everyone doesn't have the whole budget in front of them. Did you, Ms. Lewis? Did you want to go over, is this the summary, and then also, is this budget, my biggest thing is this budget balanced? Okay. So if you want to go over it, give a quick summary, you can.
The finance department is asking the board to vote for $19,044,667 for the overall budget expenses. The budget,
I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
the revenue coming in, that you see on your form, is $20,087,775. So the budget is balanced. It's not a $1 million deficit, and all the numbers are plugged in. You can see falls in line with what was actually posted on the website and presented in the front office. This is just summarizing everything up on one page. And if Ms. Francine, you want to come to your questions, I have the first two. So for special events, it falls on the park and recs in the amount of $25,000. Those events will be presented and planned by the Office of the Mayor. And the internal auditor is on page 4 with professional services. And you can come to other questions, Ms. Francine. Ms. Francine, you ready?
If you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 4. I don't have to do this, right? And you said that the professional services.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize. I'm sorry. I have a question for our mayor. We just had a discussion, Mr. Mayor, about the protocol, and you asked me had I been involved in the budget sessions. Madam Clerk also intervened concerning the budget sessions. Madam Clerk just picked up the time clock and she inquired with the mayor after they just both said to me, did I know the protocol? She just picked up the time clock and asked Mr. Mayor if she could turn, or if we would need to turn on the time clock. After just saying to me, after just both saying to me, they know the procedure. Which is it? Madam Clerk just asked the mayor, can she start the time clock for 3 minutes? And the reason why Madam Clerk did that, you all, is because it's written.
No, it's not.
It is written.
No, it's not.
3 minutes.
No, it's not.
Because why would our Madam Clerk, who's the timekeeper, look over to our mayor and ask our mayor for permission to start the time clock? Now something is afoot. Something is awry here. Because the timekeeper asked the mayor if she could start the time. Now, why would the timekeeper ask the mayor if she could start the time if there was not a time to be considered? Now, I ask respectfully, Mayor, if we would continue to keep our 3 minute, which is listed on this hearing schedule.
I explained that to you already.
But I know you explained it to me, but you haven't explained why 3 minutes is listed on this and why the clerk was
only.
And this is public comment.
It's not.
Mr. Mayor,
No, it is
the
not.
timekeeper asked if she could start
This
the
is
time.
not public
This is everything from the public, Mr. Mayor, is public comment.
We're in
Mr. Mayor, it's listed as public comment on the sheet. I'm just, Mr. Mayor, it is listed as public comments on the sheet. Yes, it is. It is right here. Can everyone see this? It's listed as public comment on this sheet.
They can see that.
It is, well, it's listed as public comment.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's right
Trustee,
here.
we're not going to go back and forth.
I'm having a discussion and I need
Say what you have to say.
I want clarity. I want
I told you
clarity
no.
as to why it is listed in the rules on this sheet under the budget hearing and board meeting. Special notice. It states right here, it is 3 minutes.
I could get to my 3 minutes.
Okay, Trustee Johnson.
It's not public comment.
Okay, well, well, you're looking at the wrong thing, ma'am. You're looking at the wrong thing, trustee. Trustee.
We're going to take another.
Trustee Johnson. Well, read. Put your glasses on and read.
We'll take another 5 minutes.
It is on. This is the part that we're under. Right here. It says under public comments. 3 minutes. It is under public comments. You're absolutely correct. I'm following the rules that the mayor has set.
Yeah, right. You got 3 minutes to give? Yes, I just sure I do. Hey, man, we all gonna give her our 3 minutes. So she got all our 3 minutes. Yeah. Yes, you can. Oh, we can. You got 12 minutes now.
The public is not in
much as you want to speak, Francine.
You know what?
Talk as much as you want to talk. We all want to talk and talk.
Put this together. Listen to me. Listen to me, sir. You let your clerk put this together. This is wrong. It's wrong by every means of the, you didn't have like state statute. And if it had been on their right, you would have been able to talk. Did you see your baby face? I know you did. I reported this. I reported
Sure, Rita, sure.
So he got a
You know what you see though. Sweet.
Hey.
Yes, trying to get the meat cast.
That's all. Because they ready to run out.
Why you look at me like that? Why?
Hey, Jim. Hello. Somebody needs to see you. Right. Ray called us stupid. Did you raise it?
The whole thing is wrong. That is not, this is not a budget project. No, it's not. By state statute, that is not a budget agenda. It's wrong. Go take a hit. When you going to slip us on?
Down the middle of the office. Talk to him. You ain't got how long it is.
This is what but there's a conflict resolution. It does. That's exactly what it is. Well, they're missing.
But the same stuff that he says that was on that video they had.
I'm sure over the agenda.
Yeah, this is stuff Gary Baker, Gary Bell.
Yeah, they listen to Gary Bell. Somebody else is still
It's almost like she watches WGN and she's striving to be done. We are not striving. I see it.
No, she only phone.
Here we can come out of recess.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, trustee, we can get started back. We're already into the 7 o'clock meeting, but we're still there at 6. Okay. Ms. Anderson, You have some more questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, I am on page 3. In page 3 under grant revenue, I see that we have lost some funding for round 4. HDA APP round 4 remaining has 0 in the Illinois Public Risk Fund. Is there an explanation for those? And I see that we have gained some granted monies from the Cook County Old Plank Board of $225,000. So was those just kind of lost of revenue, or those funds ended because of the grants ended
for round 4?
Okay, thank you. And the budget, I'm sorry, I'm going to the audit page. I'll come back to your parts. Development. Audit and insurance. That's on page 12, page 20. The professional services under that, is that also part of what is covering for the internal auditor as well as other general audits under professional services for the $97,000?
No. So the internal auditor is on page 4. This is for Baker and Tilly. For this round, per their invoice.
And for the audience who don't know who Baker and Tiller is, can you just tell who they are?
That's the auditing firm that the village is going with to prepare the FY 21, 22, and 23 audit.
And you said the other external is on page 4?
Yes. Under professional services is that HR director, finance, and legal.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to page 4.
$435,000.
Okay. Under that, under where it says director of finance and legals, that's the $435,000.
Yes.
And under the unaudited budget amount for previously, it was $296,574.
Yes.
That projected increase was due to.
So we moved the legal up to professional service because the way that they was coded in the system, that's where it fell. So we just left it there.
Okay, so that's what made the increase.
Yes.
And that's from the $296,000. Is that from both attorney firms?
No. That's only for Anselin.
I'm sorry, that was only for Corporation Counsel?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And we currently have the trustees have their own law firm. Where's that money captured at?
That will also be in the $435,000.
That will also be caught in that other on page 4?
Yes.
The public, I am on page 6 of 20. Professional services under that area would cover food. And that amount is decreased from $35,000 down to $30,000. It's on the public grounds and streets.
I would have to look into this one because I can't really quite put my finger on who it's for. But it's with Public Works.
Oh, it's for Public Works.
Yes.
And that's for their consultations.
Yes. When they have someone come out and do a search for the village.
On page 10, and we are under Parks and Playgrounds and Recreation. I'm glad to see that we have, for community events, Sauk Village Festival, 0. Thank you. But then it says public events, which would be held for all citizens at 25,000.
So that consists of the Easter egg hunt, corn and dog roast, Veterans Day, and a few other events that the mayor will be hosting.
And for the playground improvements, would that be under the other materials and supplies, under the 5,000?
Yes. And I know, yeah, like basketballs for the gym.
I'm sorry. Water fund. Professional development under the water fund. I only see $1,000. Is that my misdirection, or I'm reading it wrong?
No, so the former director of Public Works, that's what he put in for his budget. He didn't have, it's $1,000 under the water and $1,000 under sewer as well. So overall, they have $2,000.
So the tools and equipment is carried in the other area where it says tools and equipment, where it's 30,000, where previously they used 26,000. It's like, right?
Yes. So some of the line items we condensed because it was redundant.
And I guess my other question was geared toward the same thing, because it was, like you said, such a small amount under water and under sewage, and it was that $1,000.
Yeah, so you see on sewer, last year they didn't use anything.
Yes, and I saw it was only 1,000. But in my thinking, I thought that was kind of small. I have no questions for MFT. And I do have questions for TIF. Is it 3 or 2? 2 is gone. I think it's TIF 3.
So here, if you look on the summary page that was presented today, the expenses is in that one.
I didn't get a chance to look at what you presented, what was on the table today. I did get a chance to look at what I had from my 10-day review. Okay. So I am just asking the amount that we're receiving from the revenue of TIF 3. There will be approximately a $2 million increase.
No, it pretty much falls in line because what was approved last year is 5,000. And the other numbers, some of these numbers we have to go back in and reallocate, reclass. So 2,668,000 was spent, but I think those the remaining falls somewhere else. So that's what we're working on now, is reallocating.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I have went through your budget and asked my questions, and I thank you for allowing the public to have a public hearing for the budget.
Are there any other questions from the public in regards to the budget? Okay. I will go right into new business. And at this time, I'll ask for approval of the budget that was presented. Ordinance approving the annual budget and making appropriations for all corporate purposes for the village of Sauk Village for the May 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2024 fiscal year.
So moved.
Okay, it was moved by Trustee Johnson and second by Trustee Carter. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Trustee Williams.
Thank you. It was stated earlier that there were some cuts to the police department and the fire department. I don't know where that came from, but I know that there's a lot of rumors and speculations out there, especially when it comes time to the budget. So if that gentleman can show me where those cuts were made. I just looked at the budget, and the only difference I see is that there's two positions that the fire chief eliminated, that he said he was eliminating. Now, we're 10 months into a 12-month budget. That's what I'd like everybody to understand. So we have not approved the budget in 10 months. So May 1st, we're going to be starting a new budget. That's the first thing. So when I went through the proposed budget with the income and expenses, what we're balancing this budget on is the fact that we're going to use $325,000 of MFT funds. MFT funds are restricted to be used for special purposes, and that is your streets, your lights, and all the improvements that we need within the village that we all want as residents. But we're going to take $325,000 to balance this budget. Now, I don't know if that sits well with you, but it doesn't sit well with me. But of the $533,426 we're going to receive within this fiscal year, we're going to spend $325,000 to balance the budget. That leaves a remaining of $271,674. When I asked the mayor how we're going to use $325,000 of MFT funds to balance the budget, he said, well, there's expenses that we need to do throughout the year, and this is 10 months into the budget, so I would think that he would know what those expenses have been up to this point and how he can justify spending $325,000 to balance the budget. I have yet to get that, although I've asked for it for several weeks. And also, with the, we're balancing the budget using $2,448,781 of water sewer funds. Now, as you all know, water sewer funds, we have situations where we need to spend that water and sewer funds. So we're going to collect $2,540,265, and we're going to take, to balance the budget, $2,448,078, which leaves the water fund, we're going to keep from the whole fiscal year, $91,484. Now, I don't know how many of you have lived through the water crisis in 2011.
No, that's not correct.
I just did.
The $2,540,000 is the revenue. The $2,448,000 is the expense.
That's what I just said.
For the water sewer.
Deduct the
So we're not using that to cover. That's actually.
If I said it the other way, I apologize, but I'm reading it off my sheet. The revenue is $2,540,265. And the expenses is $2,448,781. So we're going to leave in the water fund for this entire year $91,484. And like I said, for those of you who lived through the water crisis in 2011, $91,000 is a chip of the iceberg on what we had to do to deliver water to the residents and all the investigating we needed to do and all the repairs that we needed to do and everything that we needed to do during the water crisis that didn't happen yet. But I was just pointing out how we're getting in the revenues and how it's rolling out to balance this budget. So that's just one thing.
So the expenses includes all the capital, the projects, everything. That's just not salary and things like that. That's Robinson Engineering. That's everything that's included with water.
I understand. I'm not asking a question. I'm making a statement. I'm saying what came in and what's going out and the bottom line. Okay. So I'm looking at the sheet that you gave us when we sat down. Okay. Now there was also rumors that we're making cuts
okay? When it's getting out that we're making cuts, when we're actually, you can't hear me. We're not making cuts. What we're doing is we're not giving the raises that are included in this budget that we need to use motor fuel tax and water and sewer fund to balance. Because we're 10 months into a 12-month budget. This budget should have been done many months ago. We didn't get it until the first time, December 9th. And then when we reviewed it on December 9th, we didn't get it back again for almost 2 months. So here we are now, it's 10th hour, and there are people getting raises that have been in the position for less than 3 months. There are people that have been in there that have been in the position for a month. There are positions getting raises that there's nobody even sitting at that position right now. So if anybody can see the ludicrousy in that we're giving raises to people that aren't even in a position. Madam Finance Director, I'm not asking a question, I'm making a statement. This is my time to talk. Okay, if I have a question, I'll let you know. And I'm a resident. And do you want me to get down at the mic and ask my questions? I will do so.
Ask questions, not make statements.
No, I am a trustee.
Point of order, point of order, point of order. Point of order, audience. Point of order, the trustee is speaking. Point of order, the trustee is speaking.
Trustee Burns, please. Trustee Burns, thank you. I appreciate that. No, your name, you do not run the mayor. You don't run this meeting. You don't run this meeting.
I am not
You do
running
not run the
order because it's out of order. And if you're not going to call point of order, then one of us must. The trustee is speaking, and it's disrespectful for the audience to interrupt. So please, point of order, so that the trustee can continue our speaking. The trustee has the floor. Point of order. Thank you. Point of, yes, it is my meeting. It's all of our meeting. We are the board of trustees. You are the mayor. We are the executive, and we are the board and the legislative. This is our meeting. This is our meeting. This is our meeting. And we need point of order. Please. And no one spoke when she was speaking, so we're going to ask for the same exact respect. Thank you very much.
Who is we? Who is we?
We're going to have order tonight.
Who is we?
We're going to have order tonight. We're going to have order tonight.
Another reset?
No one spoke while she was speaking. We're going to have order.
Trustee Burns,
Thank you very much.
Again, I will shut it down.
Okay, that's your prerogative. That's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what they want. Please, we do not want that. Mr. Mayor, please.
Ask her again. You're not going to run this meeting.
I am not running the meeting.
Be quiet.
Have one more.
The mic's off.
Be quiet. Thank you.
Be quiet.
Thank you.
Don't tell me to be quiet.
Shut up there.
Don't tell me that.
I just told you.
Just ask me to make me.
No, we're not asking nothing. Shut up.
Tell me to be quiet.
Williams, finish.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You can leave too. Shut up.
I'm trying to get you to continue.
She's speaking for her master.
We're not going to be taking outbursts from anyone.
Who's we?
Trustees included.
Passing a budget is one of the most important things a trustee can do.
If the audience could please respect the fact that this is not the easiest thing for us to do, to sit here up here after 10 months not having a budget, and now we're trying to explain why we don't feel this budget is justified. We're 10 months into the budget. Okay, I'm trying to, that was just some things. I don't know how many people actually took the time to go to the front desk and actually look at the budget or go online, but was the budget available for copies at the front desk?
Yes.
Well, when my daughter went to get copies, she was told no, she couldn't have a copy. So I guess
She couldn't have copies of both budgets.
no, she couldn't get a copy either. No,
The front office was instructed to let the residents sign the budget out and sit in the foyer and
review it and turn it back in.
I couldn't understand you. What did you say?
The front office was instructed by the Madam Clerk to sign the budget out, sit in the front, the desk out there, review it and send it back. Your daughter didn't want to review the budget, she left.
Right, so because it was online, but she wanted a copy and she couldn't get it. So those that could get it, it was online for those that did look at it. So my point, without getting interrupted, so when the mayor asks for a motion and a second, that's our time to comment before we vote. So regardless to how you all feel about it, this is my opinion. Okay, what I want to say right now is I'm not going to balance a budget on motor fuel tax.
Okay.
I'm not going to.
Oh, good Lord. Yes, you call it.
I can wait.
Yeah, let's wait.
Do you all see?
Yeah, we saw you.
Disrespect goes both ways.
But you always do it every week.
And it goes both ways.
It goes every week.
And I can totally disagree.
And that's
woman.
I know who I am. Who are you? You're out of order.
I'm gonna make one more statement.
Okay.
Because I just want to get this done. So it says here in the notice of the special meeting, budget hearing, and board meeting, that said budget is subject to revision without notice or further hearing up until its approval, which is expected at the February 2024 special board meeting, which is today. And what I'm saying to you is the trustees presented a budget on January 31st. The mayor said, I will place this budget. This is the budget the trustees want. He agreed to place this budget at the Village Hall for public review. He agreed to that at a board meeting sitting right there. And when we woke up, what was posted? The original budget from the finance department, which we already told him we were not in favor of. Okay. So what the clerk did was she posted two budgets the next morning, Budget A and Budget B. And when the mayor found out both budgets were available at the front desk, he pulled the trustees' budget. The trustees have the financial responsibility for the residents. And then once again, the mayor totally disrespected us. He took our budget and he removed it from the front counter. He did not post it on the internet. He posted the finance director's budget on the internet. So I'm here to say that I believe that the trustees have the right to said budget is subject to revision without notice or further hearing up until its approval. I am here to say that our budget should be the budget up for approval tonight, along with the appropriation ordinance that goes along with it, because we have the right to amend the budget. It can also be amended after it's approved. But ma'am, we can stay here. Oh! No, we won't.
Well, then you need to stop your wife from...
Don't sit up here. Trustee Williams. Trustee Williams. Trustee Williams. I am not going to sit here and go back and forth, point, and then talk about my wife and this and that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
You're not respectful to me.
Not respectful to who?
Tell them to please be quiet.
Respectful to who?
Not that.
Your trustee who's trying to talk, who has...
Then please finish talking so we can get to a vote. Because this was just a question. Please finish your diatribe.
My diatribe.
What'd you say, Trustee Burns?
My diatribe is the budget that the trustees proposed on January 31st is the budget that we are going to approve. And there's no other budget that's going to be approved. The mayor had no right to take our budget and disrespect us this way.
Okay, so you're right.
800,000 life. I read it.
Okay, so are you finished, Trustee Williams? Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, Reagan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trustee Johnson.
With the budget that y'all proposed as for the trustees, y'all didn't even take into consideration, my mic ain't on.
Yes, it is.
Can y'all hear me now?
Look the switch.
I don't have a switch on.
Yes, you do. No.
The budget that the trustees forced on the mayor, y'all didn't even bother to ask me or Trustee Carter our input. But y'all want to force y'all budget on the mayor and have the audacity to try to get it posted at the municipal center. Yes, it says trustee budget on here. The one they proposed was the trustees' budget. The one we're doing tonight is what the finance and the rest of the staff members brought to us. The trustees did not ask the other two trustees at all. So me and him is still considered trustees. So don't try to push a 4-person budget when it's a 6 board member. Okay? Excuse Smith.
All right, we're gonna call for a 5-minute recess again. A 5-minute recess again. Trustee Johnson.
She was there.
Listen to your
This is what y'all wanted to do anyway. You wanted to
You have a mayor that has allowed a resident to get up from one.
You got a
The mayor will not shut this nonsense down. That's right. Do not shut it down, Mr. Mayor. Do not shut it down. I'll be here all night.
Don't shut it down.
They got mad because I had questions. The next don't present like she presented. No, you supposed to have the trustees have your
How many bankruptcies you got up there? How many? They can't balance their own personal budget.
Ask your questions. Don't be sitting here giving me statements about what budget is what. Speak down. The state statutes say that the mayor proposed the budget and the trustees then vote to approve a budget. You don't present your own budget. That don't make no sense. That's not common sense. That's not even statute. Read. Plain reading. That's all it's called. Reading with understanding. That's what I'm saying.
You can check this out.
What?
Because you ain't stopping them from talking to the trustees.
Okay, well,
over there. But when the trustees over there start talking, we say something you want to dress up. But you ain't got nothing to say about interrupting that.
Who is that?
That didn't interrupt anybody. And nobody interrupted Francine when she was on the line.
Okay. And what you
Oh,
gonna
no. I got set out to. And then
Somebody said that
we have a forum in the room. We have a forum in the room. It's an open meetings act, and we continue to discuss business with the forum in the room. Can we all just take this recess for what it's worth?
Well, why is he turning off then?
because we don't want to hear you.
He turned my mic off?
I turned them all.
Can you turn their mic off too?
Make me turn it off.
Huh?
Oh my God!
Oh, your God.
How many personal bankruptcies you got again, Debbie?
Oh my word!
2?
I got one, so what? How many you got?
None.
All right, good for you. You want to get personal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not even right.
it's accurate.
Go home. You don't even live here. You don't even live here. You don't even live here.
How do you know where you live? Where do you live?
All that knowledge, don't even live in Sauk Village. Don't pay taxes in Sauk Village. All that knowledge.
You don't pay taxes either. Them with $2,000. Come make me. Don't call him. You don't want to hear from
Oh
him.
my God, that's what I'm calling on, because we need help.
No, you need help.
Yeah, we all do. You don't need help. Right, I said you need help. Right, we all need help, because it's not that. We all need help. We all need help.
Oh, honey, can we get our libations? We need our libations. Let us know this. And snort cocaine, yes. We Wipe your nose. Point take. Yeah, come out here and sit. Come on out here and sit. Come on. Come on. You all in recess. You got something to say? Come on over here. No, I'm so disappointed in you. My good job. I suggest.
Madam Clerk?
Hey, bring them on. It won't be the first time I got it sorted out. It must be effective. How many more of these minutes we got before our 5 minutes is up? So I can talk to the audience again.
When you walk in, I will walk in.
Mayor.
Three clowns up there.
You told us what you come back in?
Huh?
You told us what you come back in? Let's do that.
She's gone.
She was just out there. There she is right there. Oh, okay.
You know,
Madam Clerk? Okay, we're going to call the meeting back to order and finish with the, we have a motion on the floor to approve the annual budget, the ordinance, and to approve the annual budget for May 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2024 fiscal year. It was moved by Trustee Johnson and second by Trustee Carter. And it was questions. Now it's ready to vote. Oh, it was comments, I'm sorry. Now we're ready to vote. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Coleman?
No.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Sapp?
No.
Trustee Williams?
Are we voting on the trustees' budget or the finance department's budget? Because the trustees' budget.
The one that was presented.
Okay, absolutely not.
Trustee Burns?
No.
Okay. Motion was not carried. So there is no budget for this year. I only got 2 months left, so by the time we pass it, I don't know how that's gonna.
Mr. Mayor,
I'm not taking any more questions right now.
I motion.
No, you can't motion, I have to call for that. You can't just motion.
No, I can't call.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. I can call for a motion. I can call for a motion. May I have a second?
Second.
On what?
Thank you.
Motion on what?
I call for a motion to present the one and only budget.
That you cannot present that budget
I
unless
can
it's
call for a motion.
Well, you're not
I
gonna
have
do
a
it here.
second for the trustee.
You're not gonna do it here.
I
Now, the
call for a
next
motion.
unfinished business,
Mayor, you must
the
acknowledge
next
my motion.
unfinished business.
No, you're not, no, we're not going to do that.
Please have her removed.
I can't, motion.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. I can call for a motion.
First of all, the next item on the agenda is
All I need is a second.
there is, no, you cannot. No, you have to ask for no, and I will not recognize you for a
You
motion.
do not have to ask.
Where you get that from?
Because
What would you read?
as long as you call for motion, all
No,
you
you
need is a second.
cannot. No, you cannot.
We
Read
did-
your book. Read
Did you?
it.
I did read.
Read this
I
fundamental.
did read, and
No.
that's why I know I can call for motion.
Huh? Okay, we're going to go into the next unfinished business. I'll ask for a motion. We're going to move the meeting along. We're going to move the meeting along. No, you cannot. I'll ask for a motion to approve the ordinance approving the intergovernmental. Are you going to let me finish the meeting? Thank you. Our ordinance approving the intergovernmental agreement to lease the village of Sauk Village Community Center to Cook County. I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Trustee Johnson, second by Trustee Carter. Any questions? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Coleman?
Trustee Coleman? There's a motion on the floor to accept the agreement with the, for the Restorative Justice Program.
What? You said what?
Yes.
He said yes.
Trustee Johnson?
Yes.
Trustee Sapp? No. Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Burns? We're asking for, there's a motion on the floor to approve an ordinance for the intergovernmental agreement to lease the Sauk Village Community Center to Cook County.
The Restorative Justice Program.
Restorative Justice Program.
Okay. Yes or no?
That's the motion that's on the floor. No. Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, we're not, if you, trustee, okay, there's been enough general comments from the trustees, so, and I have nothing for the mayor, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Mayor, it's on the agenda for trustee comments. What do you mean there's enough?
You've had enough. We recessed 3 times. We recessed 3 times. We have another meeting to go after this.
I know you do, but why can't we have a
You have it at the second meeting. You have a chance at the second meeting.
regarding these?
Madam Clerk.
You know, you just make rules as you go.
I didn't make nothing. Motion carried. Move on to the next. We'll up to have the next meeting in 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the next committee meeting. Y'all said it all night. You never had a chance to talk. You talked for the last 2 hours. You remember a lot of stuff. You remember a lot, well. Man, I don't have nothing to say.
She remembers a lot. She don't remember much.
I can't say no.
Yes, they comment to me, so I comment back.
Okay. Okay, fine.
There's many public hearings, TV meetings, every clerk and every trustee, they say, I got time. And the budget hearing, we supposed to ask questions. Right. Not time. I want comment. That's the budget meeting. The trustee budget was $800,000 out of it. $800,000 out of that. You said you got $800,000. Why didn't you spend trustees are not to present their own budget. They're supposed to work within the budget that's presented. Make questions, make amendments, make changes. They're the one that's presented, don't bring their own. They bring their own. That's a piece of pie. Total.
They didn't want to say it for obvious reasons. What we need to do is go over there. And you don't look at the library. That's where we need to concentrate.
Why you put words in line on me? You just got to say I want somebody to do something. Don't call my name. Don't call my name. Don't call my name. I've heard everything you had to say about me, so don't even worry about it. That doesn't make it. Okay. Timothy, you sit. Yeah, I was gonna say you all can sit right up front there.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Did you hang up or did it just got disconnected?
Just disconnected.
That's the second time this has happened. Not today, but the last time it happened as well. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. We're going to call the Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It's 7:50. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Burns? Here. Trustee Carter?
Here.
Trustee Coleman?
Here.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Sapp?
Here.
Trustee Williams? Here.
Okay, our first item is engineer Melanie Arnold Our resolution authorizing and directing the submission of an application to the County of Cook, Illinois, requesting community development block grant funds for the program year of 2024 for the village of Sauk Village. That's CDBG grant funding for 2024. So, Ms. Arnold.
Good evening, Mayor, Madam Clerk, and Board of Trustees. As the Mayor mentioned, I'm here before you tonight to bring forth a resolution that would authorize the board to allow me to prepare and submit on the village's behalf a 2024 CDBG application for roadway improvements. This application will be due on March 22nd, 2024, and one of the items that is required for submittal is this completed resolution along with the clerk's certification. The street that was selected for this year's CDBG application is Galen Avenue. It is from 215th Place to 218th Street and from 218th Street to 219th Place. The northern section is 1,530 feet and the south section is, or south run is 690 feet. These roadways were selected based on the CMAP State of the Streets document that was prepared by Cook County by CMAP back in 2019 that showed the condition of the existing roadways, and then just by visual inspection as of last week. And so I believe that the clerk has provided you with the map and a copy of the resolution. This resolution is the standard resolution that's used each year for submittal. The only thing that has changed since last year is the date, the trustees, and the roadways that have been selected. And this work will basically include resurfacing and then grinding of the existing roadway, any subgrade improvements that need to be made, patching, any curb and gutter that needs to be installed, sidewalk repairs that need to be made, ADA repairs that need to be made, and then adjusting of existing utility structures. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions in regard to the CDBG application? Okay. So, Madam Clerk, would you put this on?
Yes, Mayor.
Trustee Burns.
Thank you. When will the project commence?
So the project will commence if we are to receive funding. We would be notified in the fall. That's when they make the announcement on the villages and municipalities that were selected. We'd probably get the notice to proceed from the county at the end of the year. We'd be able to start design engineering at that time, and then we'd be going up to bid this time next year, as early as we can from the construction season.
We're a year away.
Yes, exactly. You're not allowed to incur any funds, and well, obviously you wouldn't want to do that until you know that you've gotten the project. And then even once you've been awarded the contract, you cannot move forward with any costs associated with that until you get the notice to proceed, which will, like I said, be probably around November-ish of this year.
And then the bidding will start in February or March of 2025.
Exactly, yes. And then it will be completed next construction season in 2025.
Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I can't understand what the purpose of the grant is for.
The purpose of the CDBG or the purpose of the street?
I couldn't hear what it was for.
The CDBG is community block grant funding, which we get.
I understand what the initials for, but what are we applying for? That's what I couldn't understand.
From 215th place on Gay Lane to 218th, and then 218th place to 219th.
Okay.
For roadway resurfacing.
We don't know.
Okay, thanks.
We always put it for the max. Which is 300,000.
Yes, I'm sorry, actually it's 400,000. The max that you, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. The maximum that you're allowed to request is 400,000. We may not get 400,000 if we're awarded, but that's what we'll ask for is the maximum amount of 400.
Did that answer your question, Trustee Sapp?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, well, I'll ask to have this put on the agenda for next week to be voted on. It's the resolution that you have in your packet. There's no more questions? Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Oh, I do have a question for you. The delineators that are on Torrance, are we looking into trying to get some more?
Yes, I have my contact that we have used in previous years, so I will work with, I believe that it has to be ordered through Public Works, but I will work with Dante to get that done.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
The next item, Mr. Director, Village Administrator, Timothy Williams, website presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, thank you, Mayor. Board of Trustees, the website presentation is being postponed. There's still some final improvements that are being made. We weren't able to get, there's been some transition and we've had some department heads that we still need to get some information to update. One of the things I would like to do, though, is request now biographies from the Board of Trustees, if you would be willing and able to forward those to the clerk so that they can be uploaded. The website is, I'd say, 85% complete, and there are a few more items, a couple more departments and things that need to provide content. So that should be forthcoming, and certainly will be available for your review at the next Committee of the Whole meeting.
Okay. All right, then I guess the next one would be B&F co-construction proposal.
Thank you. Before you all, there is a proposal for professional services agreement with B&F Co-Construction. As you all are aware, we have been under contract with Sauk Village since 2017. They actually purchased the company that was here prior to them. So Sauk Village has been with the village for quite some time. The contract was extended in 2022, which is up for its ending in April of this year. What you have before is a proposal for building and code for, for inspections and for code enforcement. As you all are aware, also we have not had any code enforcement for a few weeks now because there's been an injury with our code enforcer. And so B&F is proposing to take on that role along with the building inspections. I'm going to actually turn this over to Mr. Piccolo so that we can go ahead and go through the proposal.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question? I want to get clarity. So, Sauk Village, there was an injury with someone working for Sauk Village? Is that what you just said?
Code enforcement was kept in-house. And so we have a proposal for interim to cover code enforcement in the interim until we see what is the outcome with our code enforcement officer. And also the recommendation will be to move from Sauk Village to B&F for building and inspection services, plan review and the like.
And okay, thank you.
And your name, sir, yes? Would you give your name?
My name is Rich Piccolo, P-I-C-C-O-L-O. I'm the president of the company. The company is 33 years old. We do approximately 80 municipalities in Northern Illinois at this point in time. All of our staff is either qualified by licensure or for certification or experience to perform their jobs. We provide complete service from plan review, where we review the plans.
We have a trustee on the phone and a report.
To inspection services for all projects. We follow the currently adopted code for the city. We get the reviews on it in 9 business days. We do all, there's not a project that comes in that we can't do, from solar cells to water tanks, to high-rise buildings, the backyard sheds, the fences. We provide a complete range of services. For inspections, as long as they notify us by 3 o'clock the day before, we'll perform an inspection the next day. We do call inspections where the contractor calls for inspection work to make sure work's done correctly, or we do progress inspections. So we check on how well the project's going along. Once again, all the staff is qualified by either certification. My staff is certified through the International Code Council, which is the organization that writes the code book, or they're licensed plumbers, or they have vast years of experience in their discipline. I have, besides an operations supervisor, I have a person in charge of quality control to make sure that all the reviews are done correctly. We spot check inspection work to make sure our inspectors are doing a good job. Costs. The costs are based on the size of the project. If you get a small two-bedroom house or a big 4-bedroom house with 2-story house, the fee is based on the square footage of the house for planning and for inspections. The same thing with our commercial buildings. Of course, the larger the building, the larger the fee. If you have a Taco Bell or a convention center, the fee changes based on the size of the project. We also provide, like Mr. Williams said, we provide code enforcement or property maintenance inspections to check for tall grass, junk cars, houses that need to be removed. We check to make sure there's any work going on is done with a permit. We can also provide other services such as annual fire inspections, provide administrative services to help manage the department. We can do special projects, which we already did special projects for you. We helped you update your code, your building code. We also provide emergency inspections. If we have a disaster in town, we have a car into a house, we have a house fire, you can call us, we'll have an inspector go out and make sure the structure is safe to enter or not safe to enter. Other services that we offer, we have a cross-connection control program where we have a certified cross-connection, yeah, right, that's not going to come out today. A cross-connection control device inspector that's certified through the state to perform cross-connection inspections. Develop warranties, we can do preliminary reviews. Suppose you get a large project that wanted to come in, you want to do a review of the project before it actually gets submitted. We provide that service. We can also do annual fire inspections. I'll be the main point of contact. With the second point of contact would be Sean Fowler, who was in here in front of you about 3 months ago when you talked about your code adoption before you actually adopted it. We're able to start with property maintenance immediately, and whenever we transition from safe bill. Any questions about the services that we offer?
Trustee Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sir, is it Piccolo?
Piccolo.
Yeah, Mr. Piccolo. First question is, how large is your staff, and how many of your staff members will be assigned to our village?
I have a staff of 75. The staff that will be assigned will be based on workload. I mean, I'm not going to have an inspector here if there's no work to be done. So we have one primary inspector, one backup inspector, one plumbing inspector, Okay, now of course, you're not giving them plumbing to keep one plumbing inspector busy all the time. They'll be here when there's a need for them to be here. Property maintenance is necessary, whether we're gonna do property maintenance by complaint or by sweeps, where we go through the town and look for violations. So it depends on the workload, how many staff will be here.
Okay, so you're saying, depending on what's needed, you would have, let's say, a plumber or a plumber, an inspector of plumbing, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I would imagine it would be as many as needed?
With a staff of 75, I can have, if you need 10 people here one day, I'll have 10 people here. I don't project that you're gonna need 10 people, but for example, if you have a disaster and you need additional help for the disaster, to help handle the disaster, I'll have 10 people here. But on a daily basis, 1 or 2 people.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Trustee Johnson.
My question is to Mr. Williams. Is there any way that you can try to renegotiate these numbers as far as the property maintenance prices, the administrative service? To me, it's a little bit too high as far as what we had the last previous time.
Thank you for that.
$80 per hour at a minimum of 2 hours, and then we also got to be able to pay for, you know, to get our certificate of occupancy. It's a little pricey from what we had before.
Thank you, trustee, and I appreciate that concern. We have an opportunity now because our fee schedule has not been updated for quite some time. And it is out of line with what the surrounding community is charging for these services. We have an opportunity to include some of these costs that will bring us back in line with providing the quality service and it not being a burden to the village 100%. The current contract that we have, the village gets absolutely nothing from the fees and services that are being charged. And so we have an opportunity to right-size that now with this, with another contract with another provider.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You said just a moment ago that with the current people that we're working with, the village gets nothing, but with this one, we're going to get something.
We'll have the ability to come before the board with a new fee schedule that will be able to capture some of the costs.
Capture the cost, but not raise fees to get something from the residents or the homeowners.
The real opportunity will be in plan review and to the contractors and for those that are coming to do business with the village, we'll be able to bake in some of those costs into plan review, thus allowing us to offset the cost for the hourly rate. So we'd be able to net zero that by bringing forth a new comprehensive fee schedule.
So you said we currently don't have code enforcement because there was an injury. Are you looking to replace code enforcement permanently, or you just said temporarily until that person comes back?
Yes, and we're not certain if that individual will be coming back, but we do not have code enforcement as we stand.
Where is the code enforcement price on here? We have property maintenance. Would that be considered code enforcement?
Property maintenance is code
That's considered code enforcement?
Yes.
Code enforcement? Okay. So that would be at $80 an hour?
Yes, ma'am.
With a minimum of 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one of my questions, Mr. Williams, is we just had bids for cleaning services and IT services, but we're not going to go out to bid for this type of project?
Professional services do not require competitive bid. This is a recommendation, and if it is the board's will, but professional services by statute do not require a bid.
I'd be curious to know what we're currently paying on an annual basis and how this will change what we're already paying. Because I agree with Trustee Johnson, it seems a little steep just because of what we've been paying. And my other question would be, why can't we get in-house inspectors? Why can't we had that in the past, why can't we have in-house and have like 2 or 3 part-time people handling these positions?
Typically, the cost for benefits and salaries will outpace what we'll be paying for outsourced.
That's why I said part-time. So if you had 2 or 3 part-time people working at an hourly rate, okay, not getting the mileage and all the rest of the fees that go with it. I mean, if we had part-time people, more than 1, 2, or 3 at a time that are on board, then we don't have to pay the insurance and the other benefits. So I'm just saying, has anybody thought about that suggestion? We used to have that years ago.
Certainly for code enforcement, that was, we currently do have someone on staff for code enforcement, so that's a model that we could continue with. But as it relates to plan review, as it relates to inspections, we need to ensure that we have individuals that have the ICC certification and the training, the plumbing licensing. Those are unicorns, quite honestly, in the state. And those are individuals that we typically would not be able to find on the market to hire. And if we do, it would be at a rate that we wouldn't be able to afford. They'd be charging a premium of over $100,000 for their services.
So how soon will we be addressing the rate, the fee schedule?
I can have something before the board by the next Cal meeting.
Okay, because we have to make sure that it's comparable to what we're going to be paying out.
Certainly.
So if you could get that together, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, this will be ongoing, sir, and we will be in touch with you through Mr. Williams. And thank you so much for the presentation, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about it and hopefully move forward with it because we do need it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Next item, Madam Clerk, Civic Plus Muni Code codification.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I received an email from Civic Plus, which has taken over Muni Code not too long ago, and they're moving their price structure for the supplementation services that they normally provide. Now they want to bill us for full service on an annual basis, and the cost that they would want to charge for the 2024 would be the $4,302 in plus the 660, and the 660 is for them to host our ordinances online. So like when you do the search for an ordinance, that's online, and so we pay $660. Last year it was $550. This year they upped it to $660. I thought that I would bring it before the board simply because I don't think that this is the best route for us to take, considering that they estimated how much it would cost based on the number of ordinances that we would normally send to them for codification. We are no place where we used to be. And so it's definitely not a cost savings, but it would definitely mean that we will be overcharged. For instance, the last couple of years, by the time we did ordinances over a year's time, we would have done 28 to 32 ordinances that they actually codified. They don't codify every ordinance that we send because it's not related to a law. For instance, the budget and appropriations ordinance would not be codified. And I think the bond issues, when we do that, those aren't included either. Know though that for the year 2023, including those couple of items that I just mentioned, we only completed 10 ordinances, whereas in the past it was 28 to 32. Okay? So do you see why personally, professionally, I don't think that we should accept their annual cost for them doing business the way they decided they want to do it. They were supposed to get to me before today an estimate of the cost for 2023, and it did not come across my email before I came into the rotunda, so they may have submitted it since then. However, they're looking to start their new billing model March 1st, and that's why I thought that I needed to bring it before you. I did not want to unilaterally make that determination by myself. And so it's not a vote that's needed. It's just you're giving me advice in terms of what do you think we should do. But, you know, if we were looking at 10 ordinances where they may not codify 3 or 4 of them, that means we're looking at maybe 5 or 6, and most of our ordinances are usually 7 pages, unless there's, you know, a specific attachment that's sort of lengthy with it, but that's usually for budget appropriations, bonds, and everything like that. But there are a couple that have some agreements. But I think that we should really consider just asking them to bill us page by page. Know that we can change how we're billed at any point in time. However, they want to get started March 1st.
They're asking to go into a contract with them, or they're just going to be paid as we present the ordinance to them?
Usually we pay after we present the ordinance to them, then they send us an invoice.
Any questions? Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This cost is way out of line compared to what we paid in the past. Are you saying we only have 23 and 24 to codify?
Well, 24 just started.
Right, so 23.
Yes.
When's the last time we did a codification?
The last time I sent documents for codification was more than a year ago. And even though the company does not state specifically that the delay was because they changed companies, I'm certain that that is the reason, but I did push for them, and they said that they would do their best to have it to us the second week in March, and that would be for 21 and 22.
So my question is, what else are they offering to do for the $4,300 besides codification? Nothing, that's it?
Nothing.
Okay, so can we look for other companies to give us a quote on this? Because that's entirely out of line. It's not budgeted for. It's we've never spent anywhere near that much on recodification.
It's usually about that amount.
Yeah.
But the difference is we had so many more.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
I don't think you heard the last part of what I said.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, unless we had many more ordinances to codify. So based upon what you're saying, that number is way out of line. And I wouldn't recommend it. And they're not going to give you a quote until after March 1st, and their prices are going to be increased March 1st.
I was supposed to have it last week.
Yeah, I would say there's other companies to deal with besides Civic Plus Media Code. So I would like to get other recommendations before we make a decision. Unless everybody, because everything's going up, unless everybody else is also working with the same fee structure, I would say that it's time to go with someone else.
Any other questions?
Comments, suggestions, advisement?
Since we don't have to go on the contract, we should at least look at other companies to see what their fee structure is. Media Code is probably the most popular, but doesn't necessarily mean they're the only one out there.
Well, keep in mind, it's not Unicode anymore now, it's
Well, I
Civic
mean,
Plus.
Civic Plus, something. So we could have another one come and look at that and at least have something to compare to.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
do that.
You have a question?
Yes.
Trustee,
So you're saying that we're gonna discontinue with that service?
well, we haven't,
Or we're
we
just
haven't
gonna
given
look into
anything.
another company?
We haven't given them anything in a minute.
The only thing that we paid recently, and trustees approved it, was for the online hosting. You did approve the $660.
Yeah.
So is there any way that we can send them a letter to see if we can be put on hold so we don't get charged or billed?
You don't get billed unless you just something to them.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So we don't send
Or
something.
let them know that we won't be continuing?
Not yet. I think that that would be just a little bit premature. I think what I heard the mayor and a trustee say, that they wanted me to look at other companies.
Yes.
So I'll look at other companies, maybe 2 more, bring back their cost, their annual cost, if they have an annual cost, or per page cost, if they honor that as well.
Okay.
So I'll bring that back after I figure out who to contact.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right. Any more questions? All right, we'll move down to vehicle licenses.
Okay, that's the very last page in your packet. And each year, I come before you around this time as we look at how many licenses should be ordered under each category. Last year, for the 2021-2022, even though I don't have the numbers for how many we sold in each of those categories, but last year we ended up with a significant amount of overage, a significant amount. And so I was surprised to see that we ordered 2,500, but if I can remember, we talked about coming up with a plan to stringently reach out to those individuals who don't have licenses, and we were going to stress that they get those licenses by doing the ticketing, and we had some other items that we talked about. Well, that didn't happen, but we still didn't turn out that bad, because under the passenger, we ordered 2,500. We sold a little less than the 2,000. For the trucks, we did pretty good. We ordered 200. We sold 198. We didn't do bad with motorcycles either, nor did we do very bad with the animal tickets. But each time we say that we are going to do more to enforce people adhering to the need to have licenses in these categories, I can say that we've not really done a whole lot toward that. And the impact that it has as a result of us not enforcing is fewer revenue coming in to support these endeavors. I did have, and it didn't get on this piece of paper for you, but I did share with you the amount that we paid overall to get the decals made, the tags and everything. I know that we recovered the actual dollar amount that was spent to purchase these items for sale, but the amount of revenue could be sizably more if we had the capabilities to actually enforce it. And if you can remember, a couple of years ago, we had a gentleman to come to give a presentation, and he was going to assist us in enforcing those who had vehicles. A couple of years ago, we had a gentleman who came in, and we use him, I think, for our housing stock right now. But he and his company offered services for passenger stickers, animal tags, and the whole works. And at that time, we had even labored to get a listing of everyone from the Secretary of State's office who lives in the village. I play that game too, I understand. We even got the Secretary of State to give us a listing of every person who had an automobile registered here in the village. And we turned that over to that company. He was going to then go out, compare on his own what we take in and those who are registered with the DMV. Well, and you all were all in agreement with it. Well, trustees were all in agreement with it. The day that it came to a vote, then the then DOO and the finance director at that time stated that they had somebody else they wanted to look at. Well, they never brought that somebody else back to us. So that was a project that just fell by the wayside. But aside from you letting me know if I should stay with this number, I would still also like to know if you are in agreement if we could get another company to help us monitor our licenses. And that's something that, too, that has to be researched. And then when an agreement is made, an agreement is made. But I don't want to go through all of that research and everything as was done before, and then it failed. Know, though, that the DMV no longer offers it for free, as they once did, okay? Now, in order for us to get a listing of every registered vehicle in the village, they want something like $500 to $700 for that, whereas before I was able to get it free. So just looking for, suggestions on what and how you think we should proceed.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Williams?
Thank you. So I thought there was a company that we were using that cross-checked it besides this person that was coming to the board at that time. But code enforcement used to have a way of cross-checking that. We don't have that anymore?
No.
Mr. Mayor, do you remember what I'm talking about? There was a cross-check going on. It had something to do with the Secretary of State and the housing. You don't remember that, houses in the village? Because personally, I'd like to know how many tickets were issued the last 2 years for vehicle stickers, because we've stopped doing vehicle sticker stops and checks a long time ago. So we've lost a lot of revenue there. And it's not fair to those who buy stickers for the ones that don't buy them to not participate in giving us that revenue. So I'd like to know, and I can send the police department an email on my own, how many tickets have been issued, because I don't really think, unless they pull them over for a different reason, that they're not really doing a traffic stop for vehicle.
You mean it's called a roadblock?
Yeah, well, they haven't done that in a long time.
It hasn't been.
But unless they pull somebody over for another reason, like no headlight or whatever, they don't see that there's no sticker because they don't do the roadblock.
Well, one thing that they did in 2023 that I don't know was ever done before, and that is they would issue some people tickets that were in their driveway. The car was in their driveways. They didn't have a sticker on it, so they would issue them a ticket, but I don't know what rhyme or reason that they use if you're driving face forward into your driveway, then you can't see the front windshield, so I'm not certain how that was determined.
Well, I can ask them, I can find out from that if they still doing anything like that. Because they do have to see it, and
right.
They don't see it, then, they're not gonna walk up on the property like that. That's why you see a lot of people that have sheets or coverings on their car. Usually, if you see that like that, they don't have a sticker.
I thought they had that so to keep the dust and dirt off
Dust
if they're
and
not
dirt.
driving the car on a regular.
No, that's so because they don't, either the license plate or their sticker's not registered.
Well, whatever the reason, it is time to order.
Okay.
We're still shooting for the May 1st deadline to have the stickers back. We're going to do the vehicle art contest as we've normally done in the past. I think though that, would you say that it would be safe to stick with these numbers or maybe lower the vehicle
We can
passenger?
probably lower, I'm looking at what you have for the cars. I think we can lower it down to 2,200 instead of 2,500. I wouldn't want to go any lower than that. Yes, sir?
I have a suggestion, maybe we could put a notice in, let's say, a water bill, mail, letting the people know that on a particular day we will have a, stop. You can't do that.
I mean, you can. Well, then why have a stop? All you're doing is divert people to another spot.
Well, it depends. It depends. And at least it would have some people, I believe it would cause some people to adhere to.
Well, when they have a roadblock, believe me, they'll comply. It'll comply that same day.
And I think,
but if you let them know ahead of time,
do you think it'll be worth it?
To let them know we're getting ready to have a roadblock?
Or just to have a roadblock.
I mean, have a roadblock is one thing, but that doesn't make sense to let them know we're getting ready to block the road off because you don't have the check your.
Well, to me it would.
Because I mean, if you've been through towns, you've seen where they have roadblocks, correct? Mm-hmm. Did you know anybody that knew ahead of time that they were going to have that?
Well, to me, for some people, I believe it would cause them to
go another way.
No. What I was about to say, it would cause some of those people to actually get stickers.
You know, our sticker price is very, very low as it is, and we've not increased the price of it in I have no idea how many years.
Long term.
So,
The last time we went up $5. That's why it's 30.
Okay. And the thing is, if they got it before July 1st, it's at a nominal fee.
There was something in the working years and years ago before I became mayor that we would just not have stickers anymore and just increase it in the water bill.
And you've mentioned that before. I've heard that before. The thing is, so if we're going to do it, then we need to look at the ordinance because this is orchestrated by our ordinance, and we would have to do an ordinance review and amend that ordinance to accommodate that. It's not something that can be done this year.
I'm going to be devil's advocate when it comes to that if you do it that way. It's much like people that don't have kids but still have to pay school taxes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So if you're telling people that don't have a car, even though they don't have a car, they still got to pay a car tax or vehicle sticker. So those are some of the things that were going back and forth, just to put it out there. I'm just, like I said, being devil's advocate. So I still like to have people that do have a vehicle to come and maybe we need to raise the penalty higher.
But we can't do that without an ordinance change too.
Well, that's true too, but maybe we need to do that rather than raise the price of the ticket. I mean, try the price of the sticker. It's.
Oh, okay. No, what's an ordinance is the amount of the stickers.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak to the penalty.
The penalty, yeah. You might want to change that and raise that now. Maybe they'll adhere to it. But if you change anything other than that, then you're going to have a lot of backlash because a lot of people don't have cars, or there's one car, and or you know, because Uber's being used a lot now, so if people don't have cars, but they're gonna still have to pay us if they did have a car. Trustee Williams, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree, Mr. Mayor, it's not fair to put an additional burden on the water bill. Plus, there's landlords and investors that pay the water bill for their tenants, and they don't even have a car here. I think the stickers are both the income revenue is supposed to be used to fix our streets and whatnot, and that's why we do it for the cars. But I think it's a great idea that Trustee Coleman has put in the water bill that we're going to have roadblocks. But but don't say where they're going to be or what day they're going to be. But if you tell people we are going to start enforcing roadblocks for village stickers, I mean, it would maybe influence some people to get a sticker. I'm just saying, I agree with you in that respect, but I wouldn't say it's going to be on the corner of Sauk Trail and Torrance on, May 1st. That's all. I'm just saying. We will be highly enforcing, stickers. Not a bad idea.
What do you think about it?
Okay, so I'm going to order 2,200 passengers, keep the trucks at the 200, even though it was close.
250? Because we was at 198, so I would suggest 250 for the vehicle trucks.
Okay, motorcycle?
I would say keep it at 25 because we only sold 17.
And animal tax?
I would say 180 because we only sold 173.
Okay. Is everybody?
That's my suggestion.
Mr. Mayor, is everybody in agreement with that?
I understand what you're saying. I would like to keep it, the animal at 200. I mean, reason being, how long does it take us if we run out to get new?
It takes a while.
So.
When you're running out.
Yeah, but no, you don't. Somebody come up
No,
with
because our turnover is so great that.
But how much are we paying per sticker?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I left that. I didn't bring that in here with me.
Roughly? $2 or $3?
$2 or $3. Yeah. But they like a 6 to 8 week turnaround.
Right.
That's the only.
That's the thing. I think one year we almost ran out.
One year we ran out.
Okay.
And that one year we ran out, we came up with emergency stickers for people for the last few. Also, this year, for the first time since 2017, 2018, we will have to order new applications.
Okay.
But people, we need new applications for both of them.
Okay.
So,
I would say what we have, except for the vehicle, everything else seems to be in line.
So are you saying keep it the same, or are you saying?
I mean, well, the truck was 198.
We sold 190, we have 2 left.
Right, I suggested 250 to go up.
Oh, okay, then yeah, we can go up on that, because you never know.
And then I said for the motorcycles, keep it the same at 25.
And then animals, I would keep it at 200.
Yes.
Keep it at 200?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can sell more.
Okay, and then now I have.
But a lot of that is coming from enforcement too, so that's probably what's a lot, especially with the animals. You got to enforce them getting their licenses.
Okay, I sent you an email about a special issue where people just really insisting on a certain number for their village stickers simply because it's what they've always had, a certain number.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, you did.
And
do we have a problem with that? Is there a problem? I know which one you're talking about.
That one, yes. I think that there is because the person who wants that particular number feels that it's due him. But then some of the others, they may want, say, sticker number 1,500, and we've not even sold 600 tickets. And so, stickers, and that makes it very difficult to keep up with the inventory, to pull out. So I don't know how to handle that, but just one other piece, and I'm just throwing out all of the things that took place last year But this one is one that I don't understand. If we have municipal plate, if you have a municipal plate, why do you need a sticker? I don't understand that. I mean, and I know it's not taking away that much money from the village, but
municipal stickers are paid from their budgets anyway, from whatever department is. If say for instance, Public Works, they have stickers that comes out of their budget.
Is it
so
necessary?
So you're saying that you don't think it's necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, sir.
Okay, well, she doesn't think it's necessary for the different, everyone has a municipal sticker. That would be the police, fire, Public Works, anyone has a municipal car. So that's M plate. She doesn't feel that they should have to buy stickers.
That's something that you can think about.
I think, to play devil's advocate, I think residents would be wondering why the village doesn't pay for their own vehicles when they have to. So vehicles should be registered and ticket stickers should be purchased for every vehicle. So whether I think it's
I was going to say that same thing.
That's what you were going to say, right. Because I mean, I think you and I have heard a lot of this conversation.
Yes, that has happened. It came up before.
That
yeah.
residents would want to know why do I have to pay.
That's true.
Public Works doesn't. So I would say
I've heard that for years. That's back in for years.
Okay, that's
because
fine.
the first thing, you know, well, you don't buy a sticker, but we have to.
Just seems
okay. All right. Well, okay. We move on.
Thank you. I'm going to place the order according to your suggestions.
Thank you so much.
And I will be back in touch with you about the numbering system and people wanting special numbers.
All righty, get to that point. Public comment. Now, all questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter concerning the village, the business of the village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate, counter replies, or rebuttals. I will respond to all questions once all public comments have concluded. Please state your name when you come up to the front. Is that mic on? It has to be green.
Mic check. All right. Hello, everybody. Mayor, trustees, First Lady, residents. Hello, everybody. My name is Lamont McCord. I am a certified life coach. Lamont, L-A-M-O-N, for the record, R-E-C-C-O-R-D, last name Record. I think I really should start off with prayer based off what happened in this meeting earlier. But I don't know if we got too much time, but I am very disappointed by the actions and the sense of, or the lack of respect and leadership that I've seen in this room. A little bit about myself, I'm from Chicago. Got roots here in Sauk Village, especially through my mother. She's been here for over 20 years. But I'm from Chicago. I've lost 105 friends to gun violence. I lost 2 daughters. I seen an 8-year-old boy get shot in front of me and I helped save his life. And through the moments in my experience of activism and advocacy, I would find myself time and time again in meetings just like this, advocating for the quality of life, the enhancement of quality of life for young people who look just like me. And what troubles me the most is, for one, we get a lot of older people saying that young people need to come together and we need to take charge and lead the way. But I think it was a very bad and terrible example that was set for my generation. And I would honestly, if I wasn't as wise as I was, I wouldn't even want to sit in a room full of older people who can't even have a conversation together, especially as elected officials. I'm very disappointed in the leadership that took place. But just to move forward real quick, again, I am an advocate and activist, and just to cut straight to the chase, Rick Over junior high. This is my little brother and sister who are over there that's present in this meeting. And I decided to be a responsible big brother and go sit up them at their school all day, which I don't think a lot of parents do that anymore. And just through that experience, I had the opportunity to build amazing relationships with parents and also staff at the school. But nevertheless, one day picking them up from school, it was a big group on, correcting me because I'm not good with the blocks, Torrance and 223rd, if I'm not mistaken, the hill, go up the hill, go down the hill, stop sign, the police always sitting there ready to give somebody a ticket. But anywho.
Sir, you have 1 minute left. Just
oh, thank you so much. Let me make this quick. Upon picking them up, taking them home, fight break out. I see parents driving by, nobody's doing nothing. I pull over, I get out, and I break up the fight. Kids cussing me out, I cuss them back out because I'm not the one to be played with. But they also need to learn respect. My suggestion, there needs to be community supervision at that corner for when kids are leaving and going to school. There are kids 14, 12, 10 years old going in abandoned buildings, smoking and having sex. I think there needs to be more supervision brought to our young people. The park that is, I'm not too sure, but the one by our house, that park that's 223rd, is that it? Not the one by the school, but the one when you go towards Indiana. Where the back road is. I would love to see some kind of community development at that park, whether we can get a basketball court, we can fix up that park, and also provide additional community supervision over the children who are at that park. If we work with young people now, we ain't got to fix them later. Yet we're always talking about how they're getting themselves in trouble, but are we giving them opportunities?
Your time is up.
So with that being said,
the time is.
Anybody else want to go? Or can I finish?
No.
Okay, time is up. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
You have to get up.
My name is Rodana Brown. I yield my three.
No, don't do that, darling.
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that.
I don't know. Y'all should do that years ago. Anybody else? I would think trustee. Yeah.
I'm Francine Anderson. I have a couple of questions, Mr. Mayor. Through public FOIA, I have found some information that Olison and Sturks to date, as from services from December, ending at December 19th, has been paid or has put in invoices, because I don't know if they've been paid or not, but they have put in invoices for $11,450. On several of these invoices, they have noted a conversation with Trustee Williams and Trustee Burns. And I would like to make a suggestion that Trustee Williams and Trustee Burns talk back to Olison and Sturks because of how you handled the budget meeting on today. Was, again, I agree with the young man, very unprofessional. I am a citizen. I am the public. The way I was treated today was very disrespectful. And yes, I gave disrespect back because I did not like what I got. So to the public that's listening, I apologize for any disrespect that I've given you. For the trustees who did not give disrespect, I apologize for the disrespect that I gave you. But I will advise you from now on, please be respectful because I'm not coming without it.
Anyone else?
I have a question, I'm sorry, just for the minutes. She mentioned Olison and Sturks bill in December for $11,000. What was the order coming out?
11,450. 11,450.
Thank you.
Okay. In regards to what the gentleman was talking about, I'll try to go with just that one. The rest of them I'm not gonna belabor on. That's Murphy Park, that's over there. That's not 223rd, that's 224th Street. And it's all the way at the end on Murphy Avenue. And that park has been there for a long, long time. It used to have a tennis court on it years and years ago. But now it's just a park and it's open field. We're trying to, hopefully, with this budget, not the one that we're talking about now, I'm talking about the new one that's going to be 24-25, that we put some money into some of these parks. However, years ago, we did have a couple of mishaps in a couple of the parks, and that's why some of them you don't see slides anymore. There was someone that went out there with a screwdriver and punched holes because they were plastic. They punched holes in them. So we had to take the slides out because we weren't going to let someone get hurt sliding down and cut themselves up. But I have no problem with putting money into them. So these new swings are outdated and they're older. So, so that you know it's not easy, it's not cheap to put new equipment in because of all the requirements that are needed. But we need to put some new equipment in. We got a park right here, right behind Village Hall. I don't see it used unless we're having an event. And it's not used a lot unless there is an event. So I'm going to try to find out, I need to look at that also and see if I can have that drained, because every time it rains, it puts a little lake there. That's just a drainage problem, but that equipment is still there. So you're right, I'm going to see what we can do as far as putting some money back into some of these parks, because when they're up and going, the kids do use them. Everything else was comments, so I'm gonna leave it like that. No, we don't do that. Yes, it is. Because public comments are over. Now, if you want to talk to me after the meeting, that's fine. But
I mean, it's one time opportunity.
No, you can ask me after the meeting. That's what you want. Okay. No, it's not going. That's the way it is. I mean, you can't. But we'll sit here all night. Okay. We'll go to comments by trustee. I'm going to start with Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next blood drive is this Saturday at the McConaughey Public Library from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Because our numbers have been running low and because there's such a desperate need for blood, we are combining with the Will County Black Diamond Chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction and the Coles Care Foundation. So the three organizations, that includes them and Sauk Village, will be partnering to hopefully get some significant numbers. Blood is severely required right now. And every time I say this, I'm giving you from personal experience how blood has saved a member of my family, being that my husband. So I ask everyone, I know people can't donate for various reasons, but if you can't donate, can you ask somebody who can? That's this Saturday at the McConaughey Public Library from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On the Sauk Village website and on the Sauk Village E-News. And the Sauk Talk is on the Sauk Village website. If you haven't been there lately, it is posted there. It's got a QR code where you can register, or you can call me, or walk-ins are always welcome. And also our next community development meeting is this Thursday at 11 a.m. It was posted for Wednesday, but unfortunately we have to do it on Thursday, 11 a.m. at the Rotunda. We will be discussing restorative justice. I would like to see my committee be active in that program. I believe what the young lady said last week, that a committee should probably be instrumental in that program, so I'm going to see how we can be a part of that, because I think someone needs to be active in reporting in that respect. And also, earlier it was stated about respect, I try very hard to remain quiet when the meeting gets out of hand. I think my only real outburst was when the non-resident went out there to discuss my personal business, shouting my personal business out, and I realized as a trustee, I'm open to that, but I don't see the need for that because I put myself open for a lot of things, but you really don't need to go there with me. Because just like the resident said, I think trustees have a right, where if we're being disrespected, I can give just like I get, but I don't want to. But I'm sorry if I've offended anybody with my behavior, but all I'm asking is give me a little bit of respect. It's not easy sitting up here. I do it for you and the other 999 residents, 9,000 residents. Now, the thing I also wanted to say was that one of the questions was asked about the internal auditor. Just so we're clear, the internal auditor billed a total of $3,200 since she got here. She still is owed $1,600. She can't go any further because there's a very strong stipulation in there exactly how far she can go. And we tried to get her a wider range of scope so we can try to get these audits done and get some financial information. And the mayor has stopped us, so we can't get her to the point where we need her to come in here and get into these books. So she has only billed $3,200, so if anybody thinks the internal auditor has cost the residents a whole lot of money, she hasn't. But what's costing the residents a whole lot of money is not having our 2021 audit, 21-22 audit, and 2022-23 audit done. So that's 3 audits behind, about to be 4 audits behind, and not having a budget until now that we didn't approve. That's what's going to end up costing the residents money. So also, when it came to restorative justice, I sent a set of questions to the village administrator to reach out, and he finally got my answers today. I was glad he was able to answer a lot of my questions, but I agree with the comments that were made. I did reach out to Title Max today myself, just to see how much it would cost to rent Title Max. I called Chief Justice today and emailed him to try to come up with some alternatives, because my only concern about the restorative justice program is we have a senior center for seniors, we have the gym for sports, and we have an active sports program that's going to take that gym over a lot. And now we have the community center for restorative justice. Not everyone plays sports. So as the gentleman who talked earlier, where are we going to put the summer programming? Where are we going to put the whatever program? There's another organization, Grand Boulevard, wants to bring programming. There's a lot of different people that want to bring programming. Finally, we have people that want to bring programming, but we're very limited to where we can place them. So I'm hoping that everybody involved is going to understand we're going to need the rotunda, we're going to need the senior center, we're going to need the gym, we're going to need these resources if we want to run a program for whatever the case might be. We want to, like he said, we got to appeal to the residents. Well, so far we're appealing to the seniors, we're appealing to the sports-minded, and we're appealing to the RJCC. But there are times where we need to appeal to all of our residents. So I hope everybody understands we're going to have ability to utilize all of our buildings at some point. And part of the reason why Otis and Sturk's bills have been so expensive is because we have been working on ways to try to bring our internal auditor and our other auditor to come in and get these finances straight, and we've been fought time after time after time. We're trying to create ordinance that will give us the ability to do our job, because we keep getting stopped every time we try to do something. We pass legislation, it gets vetoed, and then we have to override it, and then it just gets ignored. Those things cost money, residents. If we could all just get along, okay, respect each other, and realize not everybody thinks alike, but we shouldn't fight each other when we have ideas. And like the trustee said earlier, this budget that the trustees presented on January 31st was presented in public. All trustees were present at a meeting where we brought the suggestions for the amendments to the budget. All trustees were present. So I'm not sure, maybe she just forgot that, but we were all present, and that budget got ignored, those amendments got ignored once again, the trustee. And this is why the Olson Sturk bill is so expensive, because we have to find ways around getting our job done. It shouldn't have to be like that. We should be respected, our opinion should be respected. That's why we have an 8-member board. We have a mayor, the clerk, and 6 trustees. And when 4 says something, the other 2 just have to go along with it. I've done it in the past. I mean, if I don't always agree with the majority, but if I'm the 2 that doesn't have the majority, then I can't fight it. I should go along with it. But that's not the way this board works, and that's why lots of times you'll understand why we have the disagreements that we do. I don't go up to the people that try to do something that, given the what that people that had the majority get things done their way, and the other 2 had to just suck it up, buttercup, because that's what the law is. And I just wish that we could all understand that we have to work together as a board. So, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the opportunity to address the residents, and I wish you all a good night.
Trustee Burns?
I want to thank everyone for coming out and participating in tonight's meeting. Everyone drive safe, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Trustee Carter? Trustee Johnson?
My public service meeting will be here in the Rotunda tomorrow at 7 p.m. All are welcome. That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Coleman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next ordinance review committee meeting will be Monday, February 26th, right here in the Rotunda at 7 p.m. And that's all I have to say to you, Mr. Mayor. Have a good night. February 26th, I'm sorry, yeah. Monday, February 26th, 7 p.m. right here in the Rotunda.
Okay. I just have a couple of comments and observations. So, it's going to be brief, but it's going to be, it might hurt. Tonight's meeting was one of those meetings that I was embarrassed to be here, and hopefully no one that was here was going to try to do business with the village. When we have to go into a recess because we can't get order, that's our fault. Because in order for you to lead, you have to know how to follow first. And if we're going to not listen to whoever is running the meeting, then we're not being respectful. I'm sorry that it happened, and I'd like to apologize on behalf to the residents that sat through that. That was really, really something that should not have happened, and it's unfortunate, but it did happen. But I will let you know if it continues to happen, I will continue to ask for a recess, to calm it down. To have the police to come out or whatever, someone to dial 911, to have the police come out and take them. It was 4 of them that came out. Quite naturally, when you dial 911, it's not like police come out, it's like it's gonna happen. Only thing that I'm hoping that we can, and I've said this comment many times before, that we can act like people that we were acting when we were trying to run for office. Telling people we would be respectful. But you have to be respectful to each other before you even get to that point. And to put this kind of show on, it was very embarrassing to see something like that and to have people sit here and see that, because all they were doing was sitting looking at the show. As I stated before, you all think I'm playing, I'm gonna start selling popcorn. Because it seems like I can make a little money that way. I won't say it's gonna balance the budget, but guess what? I'm glad to see that we did do restorative justice. I heard many comments that we're going to lose the community center. That's so far from the truth. I don't understand, because restorative justice is during the day, maybe 2 days a week. Most rentals are on the weekends or in the evening. So, I mean, I've heard a lot of different things. I even heard people, when we got gas and wash, people got up and said, we're going to lose our water supply, and the village is going to be depleted because we're bringing a car wash in. So these things happen, but we need to have more, not just input, we need sight. to move things along. I don't know how many people here were here back when we had a chance to get Kmart. I was gonna open up over there where Popeyes is located, in that area right there. And they had a board meeting. It wasn't in this building, it was in across the hall over there at the, where the police department was at. And they had a lot of residents, not just a couple, but a lot of residents said, we don't want Kmart. One person got up and said, why? Why do we not want Kmart? Because it's going to bring in revenue for the village. And it was told to them that it would bring the wrong element. So I don't know what that means, because the wrong element, you can take it for what you want to take it for. But guess what? Stager got it. It stayed there until Kmart went out of business. And that was one of the highest grossing stores that they had in Stager, was Walmart. So we'll open up our eyes and try to say, okay, let's see what we can do, because we control when the business comes in. We control it. If they're making, breaking the law or whatever, we can close them down. We can have that right to do that. But let's not judge people because of what someone says. If that's the case, each and every one of us sitting up in here has been judged just by walking down the street. Let's not do that, people. Because some things you have to say, okay, let's try it. Because there's going to be more things that are going to come before the village. There's going to be more ideas and more businesses that are going to come before the village. And we're going to say we're not going to, and the people are going to have reasons to not want to do it, and the reasons don't make sense. If you're here as a village, you're here to try to make money and bring in viable entities. You do control how they do business once they get here. So if that was the case, then if we stay in that shell, that's exactly what would be, a shell. So with that being said, Trustee Sapp, I did forget about you. You wasn't sitting here, so I'm sorry. So do you have anything to say for public comment?
I understand my presence is missed. My meeting, the intergovernmental housing meeting, will be postponed. I have some health issues going on, which is why I haven't been here. So my meeting for February will probably not happen. It's up in the air at the moment, so I'm going to say indefinitely. But this meeting this evening was deep. Is what I'll say. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of disagreement, and it's okay to disagree, but we have to learn how to disagree. You, Mr. Mayor, you said you stood on something, and then when you went on break, you came back with a different decision. So that can create a little confusion. But hopefully it'll get better. That's all I can say. It has got to get better. And with that concludes my comment.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Sapp. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
It was moved by Trustee Johnson, second by Trustee Williams. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Carter?
Yes.
Trustee Coleman?
Yes.
Trustee Johnson? Yes. Trustee Sapp?
Yes.
Trustee Williams? Yes. Trustee Burns? Yes.
Motion carried. Good night.
And